Hello everybody, my name is Oksana Rudko and this is my brand of knitted bags La Accessory. In this video lesson we are going to make such an interesting bucket hat which I've called Pina Colada. It was created to match the Pina Colada bag. As you see, it has such an interesting decorative mesh, and I think that it looks really stylish together with the bag, although you can use it without it, of course. So this is the bag, so you can buy both masterclasses to create bag and the bucket hat. This bag has leather shoulder strap and leather drawstring, and of course it has this interesting mesh as a decorative element. I think looks stylish together. In this video lesson you'll learn how to make these hats in different sizes and how to calculate the number of stitches you need. If you have never made a hat made of raffia, it consists of three parts: the top, then crown, this part, and the brims. Each part will be made one after one. I will tell you in every detail how to make it, how to take your measurements, how to make calculations. You'll be able to make it for yourself, for your size. This raffia, which this hat is made of, is a super light material and it is perfect for hats, for sun hats and bucket hats. I'll tell you how to sew this keeper ribbon inside, or a hat ribbon, so everything is going to be step by step in our master class. And also finally we will make trimming. We will also enhance it slightly with fishbone. I'll tell you how to choose it, how to use it, and all the rest. The sizes for the bags, for the hats, can be different. Even the size for the brims can be different, so it's up to you. And the brims have to be about 18 centimeters, but again, you can choose for yourself whether you want to make them smaller or bigger. And also you may have different raffia, different gauge, so it can be more or less the same. So this is how it looks when it's ready, and now we will talk about the materials and tools that you will need for this masterclass. Now, as to the materials for this bag, we will need 2 skeins of raffia in one color or in 2 different colors. I'm going to use Easby raffia. Here I have Tiffany blue. I have a whole skein that is 250 meters. And in timber I have slightly less, it's about 1/2. I've already used it for a bag, and I think it will do for the hat. You can use it in one color, so you can use 2 skeins of one color, but still I recommend you to take 2 skeins, although you might need only 1.5. Then you will use keeper ribbon or hat ribbon. It looks like this, and we're going to sew it to the brims so that when you wear the hat it won't be stretched. I'll show you everything stage by stage. It's really easy and quick. The width here is 2 centimeters. That may be 2.5 or maybe a little bit less. It is okay. I don't recommend to use smaller ones, 2.5 centimeters. And then we will need such a whalebone. You can buy it in any DIY store. It's such a plastic boning. Of course, it's not a whalebone, it's plastic. We need about 1 meter. I think you can buy it by meters, so 1 will do. I'll show you how to insert it into the hat, how to close the brims, and how to join this whalebone. Now I have just shown you the whalebone. Here it is. And also I want to show you that there is such thing as Regolin. It's also kind of whalebone. It can be white or black. This one is thinner, as you see, and also here alone you have two wires. And due to this, it keeps the shape. Yeah, you can cut those wires and adjust them so that you have the piece that you need for your hat. So you can use either Ridgeline or whalebone. I prefer to use both, and I join them using lighter. But if you want to join it better, when you have to join two ends, I also use shrinking tubes. But I have just one size, a very small size of shrinking tube. So I will need either to cut the whalebone, or yes, you have already cut it in two. You can cut the whalebone, by the way. You can cut it alone and thus make it make it narrower, yeah, smaller. So I'll show you how to use shrinking tube for the ends of Ridgeline or whalebone. That's if you like, if you want to make it super perfect, secure. And you also burn it, it melts and fixes the ends like this, so that you can continue working around it. It will stay put, nothing is going to happen to it. At the end of this video, I'll show you how to insert Ridgeline, show you how to sew it. So you can use one of the methods, either melt it or sew it. It's just that I had an experience when I was firing it without the shrinkable tube. It's a hazard that you might burn it too much, so be careful with fire. And better experiment with it before you use it for the bag. Now I have a piece of shrinking tube, and then here I have two pieces of whalebone. Have just cut it in two, so we will try. We insert the shrinking tube onto one. Now imagine that you have finished the hat and you already have to join two ends at the brims. Here you have these two ends. You insert one part, then the second part into the thermo shrinkable tube. Like this. You can even overlap it a little bit to make sure that you have joined it properly, like this. And then using lighter, carefully heat the thermo shrinkable tube. You see it shrinks and it fixes the two ends inside. Wait a while, it will dry a little bit. Oops, it's hot, be careful. And now you see it's joined completely and very seamless. You can do it again, just be careful, don't burn it. Oops, you see here I have burned it a bit. And you burn just a thermo shrinkable tube. You see it is fixed properly. So according to this principle, you can join it. You can buy this thermo shrinkable tube, 4mm width, which you can use either for whalebone cut in two or for the Ridgeline, when you will be closing the brims of the hat. That is the final stage. So first you have to make the hat. I just decided to show you so that you have time to think and maybe to order it for the hat. While you make the hat, you'll get this tube. So now we are going to work with 3.5mm crocheting hook, but you can as well use 3 or 4mm depending on your gauge, how it is easier for you. And it depends, of course, on the raffia, on the width of the raffia that you're going to use. I'll talk about it later. You'll need a lighter, and this lighter we'll use for joining whalebone. You'll need a pair of scissors, a needle and thread in matching color. measuring tape, of course, to take your measurements, and such glue. I have the one like is 1 second moment glue. It's transparent and very strong glue for gluing the ends of the raffia. And also we will need some markers to mark the brims, to mark the increases. It will make your life easier. So these are the base elements that you will need. Now we will start preparing raffia, and then I'll tell you how to take your measurements and make the calculations. So before we start working with the raffia, I recommend you to make a wet heat for it. Here I have some leftovers, so I decided why not. I'd rather use them up and then start a new scheme. I'm going to make a wet heat for the raffia. To make it easy, I've placed it to such holder. And then you need some surface where you can use iron. Here I already have a piece of raffia that I have made wet heat for. But somewhere it's better to open it like this using your fingers, like unfold it. And here is the raffia that I haven't made a wet heat for yet. So I'm using steam generator. You can use an ordinary iron that has a steam option. And so you work it with steam. You can even pull it like one strand, or you can twist it around your arm and then put it and make the process much quicker. So you can either go like this, working at one strand at one time, or you can make it like this, so you just create such a big mess, and then you work it all together. And like this, you also work it with steam and wait while it will be opened. Both methods are okay. If raffia is twisted too tight, then you'll have to open it manually, as I have already shown you. And so like this, you make a wet heat for the raffia. You can make a wet heat for the whole skein of raffia at once, or you can make it by and by, like you have made wet heat for some piece of raffia, you worked it in. Then you make wet heat for the next piece, and so on and so on. So prepare raffia for the work, and then we can get started working on the hat. Now raffia is ready for work. I have returned it back onto the holder. And so we will start working. But before this, we need to make our calculations for different sizes of the hat, for different circumference of the hat. Because of course, sometimes you need to get the hat right for your size. So to measure, I will show you using this doll. So we take measuring tape and measure it above the ear, then back to the most protruding part of the head, and then this way you measure the circumference of the head. Here, of course, the number is very small. You have to measure, and the ordinary circumference is 52 to 54, maybe 56, or more. We will make calculations for different sizes. So, if the circumference of your head is 52 centimeters, Then, to get the right size for the head, you need to make the right bottom. Like the bottom, the top of the head, that is, will be the diameter of the top will be 52 divided by P number is 3.14, yeah? So, and minus 2 centimeters. This I will calculate. So, 52 divided by 3.14 is 16.56 minus 2 centimeters. That will be 14.56 centimeters. So approximately you need to get the top with a diameter of 14 centimeters. Yeah, diameter of your head on top. Likewise, we make the same calculations for 54 centimeters in circumference and then to 56 and for, let's make it 458 as well. I will make all the calculations and provide you with them so that you can just write it down and use the one you need. So here are the measurements. For 54 centimeters in circumference, you will get 15 centimeters, 15.2, but you can make it 15. For 56 centimeters, you will get 16. For 58, you will get 16.5 centimeters diameter of the top of the head. If you have 5 millimeters smaller, for example, then you can make a wet heat for it and slightly stretch it. So you'll be able to stretch it a little bit. If it is a little bit, just a little bit too small for you, then you have a chance to stretch it. But if it is too big, then you'll have to make a new one. You won't be able to change it anyway. So now we will also make one calculation slightly later about the height of the crown, but now we need to make the top of the head. I'll show you how to make it according to the rule of a perfect round. I'm going to work it for 56 centimeters in diameter, so I'm going to make it 16 centimeters. So we take the raffia, which we have already made a wet heat for. I have 3.5 millimeters crocheting hook, and we are starting it with a magic loop. I'll show you how to make a magic loop if you don't know. So we put the free end on the palm like this, twist it around the fingers with a working thread and hold it with our fingers here. Then we insert the hook under this loop and pull the working thread, the long one that comes from the skein. And like this, we make the first chain with a working thread. So now we have such a loop. It's not a stitch yet, it's just a loop. So to fix it, we need to grab the raffia and pull it through. So we are actually making such a lifting chain, the first one. Then we need to make 5 more stitches into this magic loop. And at the same time, we are working around this free end. So insert the hook inside, make this loop, and make a single crochet. Then again, insert the hook and make 2 together. That is a single crochet. Again, insert the hook, make a loop, and work two together. Here I make quite big loops, but it is just the first row that I work this loose because we will have to tighten it. So pay attention, the loop on the hook is tighter. Yes, if it's so loose, you tighten it. And the one that you make here is vice versa, slightly looser. This one you do not tighten, so that you avoid making openings and make puffy stitches. Again, insert the hook and make two together. So now we have, let's count, we see this upper braid, so by them we can count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. So actually it's 5 braids, which means 6 stitches. Yeah, now we can tighten it this way. And then we need to join the beginning and the end of the row. How to do this? To join the beginning and the end of such a magic loop row, we need to find the first horizontal stitch. Then insert the hook into it from behind under both half loops. And so here we will pull this loop back where we have started, make this loop slightly longer, grab it with hook, and then return it back into the loop where we have started with it. Of course, we need to tighten it a little bit so it's not too big, like this. And then here, be careful. Then we need to insert the hook. If you open the stitch like this, you'll see that we have these two braids, and under them there is such a V shape or a tick. So we have such a pattern when we work it right into the V shape. Here we are going to work it here into the first stitch. So now it looks as if you pierce it through, it will look as if you have pierced it like this. So you have half loops above and on the sides. So now we grab the working thread, make a loop, then we insert the hook into the loop that was here, grab the working thread and make a stitch. So I'm going to show you this in every detail. If you can't get it, just come back and watch this video again. Here you already see where to insert it. Here you see this V shape. So you will insert it under the right half loop. Here it will look on the wrong side, it looks as if you have worked it into the back half loop. So in this row we will make 2 single crochets into each right side half loop. So once we have made already, the starter was already the first stitch, and so now we insert the hook again, grab the working thread, make a loop, and make a single crochet. And then in the next stitch we see this V shape. We need to insert the hook under its right half loop here, and here as if it is into the back half loop. Grab this working thread, make a loop, and make a single crochet. And here likewise we insert the hook, make a loop, and make a stitch. Likewise, now we are finding this space between the two stitches, but we don't pierce it into the V shape, we pierce it onto its right half loop. Grab the working thread and make a stitch. again into the same one, we make one more. Likewise, we insert the hook into the next stitch here between the two stitches. Here is the right half loop, and again find this right half loop. You can slightly tighten the magic loop if need be. And so here we have the last. This loop might be slightly stretched. I recommend you not to stretch it, but it may happen that it is stretched. So under it you have a V shape that will be somewhat tightened, but try to find it nevertheless. And pierce it through. Grab the working thread and make together into the same opening again, as we always do in this row. And then here we have the last stitch to make, but here it's difficult to see where to make it. So here we are going to adjust it somewhat. Here we have an upper half loop into which we have to make a stitch. But then there is a back half loop. So find it on the wrong side. Here it is a back half loop. So actually into these two we will be making a stitch if you make it into both half loops, this one and the back one. Grab the working thread and make a stitch. And again into the same opening. Grab the working thread, make a loop. If you see that the stitch is not puffy, you can open the raffia, like manually, like this. And this way you will make stitches puffier. To avoid holes between the stitches. So we have made the second row of our magic loop. And now we will get 12 stitches. If we count the stitches, we will have 11, because we haven't made the last one. So count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You see, there are 11 upper half loops because we don't count the one on the hook. So we make a transition to the third row, and it is our 12th stitch. At the same time, we make the same joining as I have already shown you. We insert the hook back to front into the first stitch here, the beginning of the row, and grab our loop that we have left there. Adjust this loop so that it's neither too big nor small, so that it is like all the rest loops. Then we kinda insert the hook under these half loops. Now I will explain little differences. Maybe it will be easier for you. So we need to get it into 2 upper half loops and also here 1 back. You see, here it is, the back half loop here. So we inserted the hook under 3 half loops. Actually it is the same which I was showing, but I was showing to you with a right half loop here. It's the same but slightly different. And we grab the working thread, return the hook, return this loop onto the hook, and we make a first single crochet. So the first stitch of the third row is ready. So here we were making 2 stitches into 1, and in this row we will be alternating 2 into 1, then 1. So we will make increases in every other stitch. We have already made 1 stitch, so now we will make the second stitch exactly into the same one. That will be an increase. The next one, here it is, you insert the hook into these 2 half loops plus the back half loop. Or if you look at it from the front part, then you see this V shape and you insert it under the right half loop of that V shape. So it's how it is easier for you to look from the front side or from the wrong side. Then here we make 1 stitch. Then we make again 2 stitches. So we make a stitch here under both half loops and also grab the third back half loop. Here it is, so that we have kind of 3 half loops on the hook now. And make a single crochet. Here we make the second, so we alternate. We make 2 single crochets into 1, and then we make 1, then again 2, and then again 1. Don't forget that we make increases in every other stitch here. And then we insert the hook into the next one. And make a single crochet. The loop on the hook is a shorter one. So then that was a single crochet, and then we make an increase. So we make 1 single crochet into the 2 upper plus the back half loop, and then if you are looking from the front side, then we are working around the right half loop. 1, and into the same opening we make the second. That is an increase. Next one is a single crochet. And then grab the working thread, make a single crochet. And so we alternate. In the next one we make an increase. Here 2 half loops and 1 back half loop, and make a single crochet. And we grab the working thread, make a loop and single crochet. Into the same opening we make 1 more, so don't forget that we alternate. In every other stitch we make an increase, 2 single crochets into 1. Here into the upper and 1 of the back half loops. Now an increase, a single crochet and single crochet into the same opening. Here the next is a single crochet. Here the back half loop is really tight, it can happen, so just be careful, try to grab it. It's difficult, sometimes it is difficult to find it. Nevertheless, try not to skip it. Then the next, I have 2 more stitches left. First I will work this one. One and then 2. And also there is 1 more left. Last stitch is here. I have to stretch it a little bit so that I can see where that last stitch is and not skip it. So we need to insert the hook into the 5th stitch here. Yeah, here it is. But it's also important to grab those that back half loop. Yeah, first those 2 upper half loops and 1 back half loop. Or if you look at it from this side, you see we have 3 loops on the hook now. From the right side, you see it as if you are working into the right half loop. And make the last stitch. So in the 3rd row, we have made 17 stitches. You have 17 braids here on top. You can count them and check. And we will start the 4th row. In the 4th row, we will alternate, but we'll also make a shift. It is the rule of a perfect circle. You have to make increases in special places. I will tell you everything by and by. So now we need to join it. Now we need to join it. I insert the hook from back to front into the first stitch of this round and grab my working loop here. Tighten it somewhat. Then let's have a look here. Again, we insert the hook either under 2 half loops and then a back half loop. Yeah, you're looking from the wrong side like this. Or, and we grab the working thread and make a stitch. Return this loop, yeah, and make a stitch. That is our first. Or you can do the same, but if you're looking at it from the front side, you find this V shape and find its right side. The V shape is right under this loop, yeah, where we have finished it here. And so we need to pierce it to the right, grab the working thread. Actually, we are doing the same, but we are looking at it from another side. And like this, make beginning of the 4th row. So now the rule of a perfect circle is the following. The increases in each next row we make right after the increases in the previous row. So if I see that in the previous row the increase was here, I see 2 stitches coming out of one place, right? Out of one stitch. That was an increase. So here you can see clearly that we have 2 stitches coming out of one base. So if I see that increase was here, I will make increase in this row into the next one, into the stitch next after this one in the previous row. Likewise, after this increase, I'll make one here. After this increase, I'll make one here, and so on. The next rule is that we never do increases above the increases of the previous row. And also the distance between the increases in each next row will be 1 stitch more. So in the 4th row between the increases we will have not 1 but already 2 stitches. And these 2 stitches are going to be here, right? Then in one next row there will be 3 stitches between increases, in the next one there will be 4 in between increases, and so on. So let's move on step by step and I will tell you everything in every detail. So we have made the first stitch of the 4th row, then we make an increase into this stitch, into 2 upper half loops and 1 back half loop. We make 2 single crochets into one. That will be an increase. Then we make 2 single crochets. one single crochet here, and one more here. Into the next stitch we also make a single crochet, just one single crochet. Then we make an increase. So we've made 2 stitches and then we make an increase. We will have 2 stitches between increases here, and it will be exactly after the increase in the previous row. So we insert the hook into 2 upper and 1 back half loop likewise. And into the same stitch we make the second. That is an increase. Then we make 2 single crochets. They will be exactly above the increase of the previous row, so that we make an increase after the increase in the previous row, not one above the other. Here, make 1 single crochet, and then into the next stitch likewise we make we've made 2 single crochets, so next we make an increase. Likewise, grab and make a stitch. So like this, go on working till the end of the round, alternating increases and 2 single crochets. So now we've made an increase, then we make 2 single crochets, then an increase, and then again 2 single crochets. Here we will finish the round together. So we've reached the end of the row, and now we have to make the last stitch here. You can see clearly where the stitch is. So we need to make a stitch here. Just be careful because this stitch might be slightly tighter, so it will be difficult for you to find that half loop, that back half loop. Yeah, so make sure that you have grabbed that back half loop and you haven't skipped it. As we have it here, just here it looks a little bit tightened. Grab the working thread and make a stitch. In the 4th row we made 24 stitches. You can notice that we started with 6, and each row we made 6 increases. So in each row we have added 6 stitches. 4 rows by 6 stitches is 24. So in this row we have 24 stitches. The 24th will be the last one, which is a false slip stitch. We insert the hook from the back to front into the first horizontal braid of this row, pull the working loop here, and then we insert the hook front to back into the same opening and also into the back half loop. Grab the working thread and make a loop. Also return that loop and make the first stitch of the 5th row. So let's have a look. Now we start the 5th round. We see that here is the increase. In the previous row, here was an increase. It means that here we are not going to make an increase because we do not make increases one above the other. It means that here we will make a single crochet, right? So we've made 2 single crochets. And we see that we make increase after the increase in the previous row. So this was the increase in the previous one. It means that here we will make an increase in this one. So let's make here. Then here in this row we will have 3 stitches. In the previous one we had 2 stitches, so it means that in this row we will have 2 stitches. That is 3, yeah, 3 stitches between increases. 1 stitch more than it was in the previous row. So here we will make an increase. So you see, and it exactly will be right, because here is the increase in the previous row. So you check these things, yeah, so you make increase after the one in the previous row, and you don't make one above the other. And in each row you make 1 stitch more between the increases. So if you follow these 3 rules, your circle will be perfect. One and two. 1, then 2, 3, and an increase. 1, 2. So like this, go on working till the end of this round, making 3 single crochets, then an increase, 3 single crochets, and then an increase. So we are at the end of the 5th row. Here we have 1 last stitch to make. So we insert the hook into this last half loop here, right? Here it's not an ordinary one, it is slightly tighter, so you have to find this back half loop right, like 2 upper one and 1 back. Here it is, you can see it. Grab the working thread and make a single crochet. Make this loop slightly longer. Then you need to count the number of stitches. You will get 36 by 5, yeah, 30 stitches. And we join as always, insert the hook from back to front and pull this loop here, back, tighten it slightly. Then under this one we insert the hook front to back here, grab the working thread and make a stitch. Here it is the first stitch of the 6th row. In the 6th row we are going to make 6 increases and we're going to place them after the increases in the previous row. So let's have a look. Here we are. We are before an increase, which means that this increase in the previous row, which was before it, is far. So here we will make a single crochet, and so we make 1 more single crochet here, 1 and 2. Then we make an increase, which is going to be exactly after the increase in the previous row. Here, pay attention that Here we have made only 3 single crochets, but in this row we are going to have 4 single crochets between increases. We will just have to add one more here at the end, so that we still have 4 stitches between increases. So we've made an increase, which means that now we have to make 4 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, and make an increase. 1, 2, and then again 4 single crochets. So like this, we go on working till the end of the row, repeating an increase and 4 single crochets. And then we will meet at the end of the row. So now we have only a last stitch to make in the 6th row. Pay attention that in the one before the last we've made an increase. So now we pierce this into the last stitch under 3 half loops here. Looks like this. Make the last single crochet. Check. In this row you need 36 stitches. And then we join the row as always. Insert the hook back to front into the first horizontal stitch. Grab the working thread and make a stitch. Then we insert the hook into this one. At the same time we grab this back half loop like this. Grab this working thread and make a stitch. In the 7th row we will have 5 stitches between increases, because in each next row we add one more. I'll make it one more. So let's have a look where we are. Here we don't have increases here, so we go on working with single crochets till we see the increase in the previous row, and we make one after the increase in the previous row. Here the raffia has twisted, so we'll have to untwist it a little bit, open it like this manually to make nice puffy stitches. And so we continue. So now we have reached the increase of the previous row, so here we make an increase. In this row, 1, then the second, and then again we make 5 single crochets, and so we repeat 5 single crochets and then an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we make an increase, 2 single crochets into one. One, two, and then again 5 single crochets and 2, and so we alternate till the end of this row. So at the end of the 7th row, here we make an increase and the last stitch here, here, and the back half loop, don't forget about it. Grab the working thread and make a stitch. In this row we'll have 42 stitches. Now we have 41 braid on top, and the last one is the one that we make now. 42nd stitch. Insert the hook from back to front into the first half loop, into the first stitch of this row, I mean. First horizontal one. Pull this loop, tighten it, and leave it. Then insert the hook under these into the right half loop and grab the working thread, make a loop, then return back that loop on the hook and make the first stitch. And we start the 8th row. Here, let's have a look. Where were increases in the previous row? Here we are in the middle, so we will go on working single crochets till the first increase and make an increase right after it. And so here in this row we will have 6 single crochets between increases. So we make till the first increase. So here we make the number of stitches only till we reach the increase in the previous row. It may not be 6, maybe we'll make 4 or 3, and then we'll have to add them on the other side. So you see, here is the increase in the previous row, so we make an increase in this row right after it, so that it is in the following stitch. And then we make 6 stitches, and then already we alternate 6 single crochets and an increase all the time. 6 single crochets and an increase. 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase. 1, 2. So we go on working till the end of the row, and then we will join together. So we will soon start measuring the diameter of this round, of this top. I stopped at the 11th row, but we will see. It has to be approximately 16 centimeters. As we see now, it's the 8th row. Then when we are close to the size that we need, we will make wet heat for this as well, so that we see the real size of the piece. So now go on working till the end of this row, several rows more, and then we will measure it. Now I have reached the end of the 8th row, and here I have to make the last stitch. And so I make the last one here, pierce it through into the right half loop here, and then like this, make a stitch. Grab the working thread, make a stitch, check, make sure that you have 48 stitches, 47 braids. Now, 48th is the one that we make now. As always, we insert the hook from back to the front, grab this loop, and then make a stitch with a new loop. For this, we insert the hook under this one. Same one, yeah, you see here. Don't forget to grab the back half loop, of course. Like this, piercing it on the right into the right half loop. And now return this loop, tighten it slightly, return this loop onto the hook and make a stitch. So we have started the 9th row. In the 9th row, let's have a look. The increases are far from this stitch, so we start making single crochets till we reach the first increase in the previous row, so that we can make an increase in the next stitch after the increase in the previous row. So that in this row we have 6 plus 1. We had 6 in the previous row, so here we'll make 7 single crochets between increases. So make the stitches to reach the increase in the previous row, like this. Like this. And now we make an increase. We see that there was an increase in the previous row, so we make an increase in the next stitch in this row. 1, 2. Then we make 7 single crochets and an increase, 7 and an increase, and so on. Making only single crochets. Here. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And an increase. 1. 2. So we go on working like this till the end of the row and meet when we need to join this round. At the end of the row we join these two as always we do. Make the last stitch here, like this. And then we insert the hook, so this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9th row. The 9 by 6 is 54, so we have 54 stitches. And we join this round into the first horizontal as always. Grab the working thread, pull the loop, adjust it, and then we'll leave it and insert the hook right into the same opening here. Grab the back half loop as well, and so here we make the first stitch of the 10th round. Go working till the first increase here, we see the increases in the previous rows were rather far from this, so we can start with single crochets and then we will make an increase after the increase in the previous row. As always, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then here we see an increase in the previous row, so in the next stitch after it we make an increase in this row. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this row we will have 8 single crochets between all the increases. Like this. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now make an increase after the increase in the previous row. 2, 3. And so like this we go on working till the end of the row, alternating 8 single crochets and an increase, and we'll meet at the end of the row. At the end of the 10th row we make the last stitch here, this one, all the same. And we insert the hook into the first horizontal braid of the first stitch of this row. Grab this thread and now pull it here. Under this one, insert the hook and grab the working thread. Like this. And grab this working thread and return and make the first stitch. That's it. So I forgot to tell you that in the previous row we had 60 stitches or 59 and one last that we're making now. So now go on working like this till the first increase of the previous row, making single crochets for the time being till we reached the increase in the previous row, like this. Single crochets, now that you have reached the increase, make an increase in this row after the increase in the previous row at once. Here. And so like this we go on working 9 stitches, and into the 10th we're making an increase. And so like this we make 9 single crochets and an increase in the 10th one all the way around in this row. 9 single crochets and an increase. So in the 11th row, when I was making the first bag, in the first bag I have made 11 and then I decided to stop and start making the crown. But here I see that perhaps 11 won't be enough. So we'll try it on or measure it, and then we will see, maybe we will need to add one more row. So here, and we follow like this till the end of the row, then we will try it on or measure it, and we'll see. Now I have made 11 rows, and I haven't made the wet heat yet, but we can already measure it. I haven't joined it in the round just in case. So we need to open it like this, because it might turn inside. And then coming through the center, put the measuring tape like this. To measure it, I got 13 centimeters. So up to 16, I have several more rows. You see, I can't stop at this. I'll have to make several more rows for sure to get 16 centimeters. So I am going to join it in the round and just continue working. As always, we make this last stitch. So here I have to make an increase into the last one, by the way. So I make 1 and 2. Everything likewise as we always finish the row. Then I join it like this. And then go under this one. And then join it in the round, make a loop, insert the hook, grab the working thread, and then back into this one. We make a stitch. Don't forget about the back half loop, grab it as well, grab the working thread and the loop that is here. This way. Can't find it, yeah, where it is. And make the last stitch. So in the next row we are going to make, let me see, likewise I see that the increase was here, yeah, so the next increase will be here. Here I'm not going to make an increase, I'm going to make the first single crochets and then increase. 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I make an increase here where it should be, and then we will alternate in every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll make 10 single crochets and then an increase. And so till the end of the row, go on working like this. We are making 10 single crochets and then an increase. like this. Now we have reached the place where we make an increase, yeah? So we make 2 into 1. 1, 2. And so like this, we go on working till the end of this round. So one row is ready. Again, let's measure it. Let's measure the diameter. And I already have 15 centimeters, almost. So let's try. Maybe I'll make one more row. If it will be exactly 14 and a half now, yeah. So let's make one more round. So I finish this round as always. In the last stitch here, I have to make an increase. 1 and 2. Join the round. Check, make sure that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds. It is a 12th round. So here you will have 72 stitches, 71 braids on top if you count it, because now we make 72 while we are joining it in the round. Tighten it and insert the hook into this braid where the loop is. Make one more loop here. And grab this braid. So like this, we go on working till the first stitch, first increase, I mean, in this round. So here, if, for example, you see that when you make the last row and your diameter will be bigger than you need, then you can tighten. Yeah, so if you need to adjust the size and get the right diameter, if one more row will be too much, one less row will be too little, then you can make this last row, but at the same time you tighten the stitches in this last row to make them slightly smaller. And so now we have reached the place where we need to make an increase. We make it here. And so now we make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 single crochets, and into the 12th we'll be making an increase. So let's start together and then you can continue on your own. So 1, and into the 12th stitch make an increase, 1 and the second. And so like this we're going to work until the end of this round, measure it, and then we'll continue. Now we have made 13 rows. Let's measure. See whether we need this round. I think that this will already be enough. So almost, yeah, 16, that is 16 centimeters. That's right. That is the diameter that I need exactly. I'll show you how to make a wet heat, but before I will close this round, as always. And we will make the last increase here. 1, 2, and in the 13th round, if we multiply it by 6, that will be 78. So we have 78 stitches here. 78. If you count the braids on top, they will be 77, and now we are making the 78th. And then we'll make a wet heat for this. And now we'll make a wet heat. So now you can use either steam generator or an iron, and like this you have to steam the piece, steam your piece like this. Here you can adjust everything that you don't like, for example, and yeah. So now let's measure. I have exactly 16 centimeters, that's great. And now I'll start the crown. To make the crown, we need one more calculation. Again, I'll show you on the dummy. So I take measuring tape, and now I need to measure from ear to ear through the middle of top of the head. This way, when you have measured this number, you can write it down and calculate. So the crown is going to be from ear to ear. I have 32 centimeters, for example. This 30, you will have your own number. We have to divide it by 2, so we get 16 centimeters. 16 centimeters will be the distance between the center of the head here and we move like this so that the end of the crown, when you have made the crown, will have to end here at 16 centimeters. And then you start making the brims. I will remind you, but so that you know how much you have to work, how much of the crown you have to work. I already have 8 centimeters, so I have 8 more centimeters. But you'll have your own numbers, so mine are just approximate. So for the crown, we are going to work likewise as we were working it here, but we don't make increases. So we just make each next stitch without any increases. We do not change the pattern, go on working likewise, just don't make increases. For the crown, we will make increases. I've made it at the 9th row, but you can actually make it even sooner. It depends how far you have, how much distance you have till the ear. We will make this increase approximately in the middle of the crown, maybe a little bit lower than the middle of the crown, depending how much you have, what number you have from ear to ear. Here you can make it together with me using my calculations, or you can adjust it. Now, by the way, we have reached this moment when I ran out of, let me see, just a second, ran out of raffia, and I want to show you how I'm going to add one more skein. Yeah, I have a small free end left, So I'll take a new one and just insert the hook as always and grab a new thread like this. And then go on working. These three ends that you have here, you can make a knot for the time being. But I don't recommend you to glue anything because maybe you will have to change something. Maybe you will not get the right size from the first time. So maybe it's better to leave them like this. Maybe you'll have to redo something. And slightly later I'll show you how to hide them, how to glue them. So go on working till the 8th row of the crown. Just make a single crochets in each stitch and then we'll make an increase. So I have made the first round of the crown and I recommend you to put a marker here to the last row of the top, just so that you know where you have started making the crown. And you won't forget where you have finished the top and where you have started making the crown for the head. You'll know where to start calculating. So make the last stitch here. Then join the round as always, like this. And everything like we did before, go on working single crochets without increases till the 8th row. Till the 8th row, we make no increases. Your work might start rolling like this. It is okay, like making a bowl. When I work further, you will see that you'll be able to turn it like this inside out and it will be okay, so don't worry about it. So now go on working till the 8th row and we will continue. And also I wanted to show you as an example how to hide and how to glue the end. When you are absolutely sure that you've made everything right and you are getting the right size, we insert the hook into a stitch and just pull it this way. Under the stitches, like this way, for example. 3 times will do. And then we cut the thread and leave a small free end. Then I'll take a bit of glue and carefully add a bit of glue to the free end. And so like this you can press it just a bit to glue it better. So like this, we hide all the free ends and glue them to make sure they will stay put. Like, don't hurry. I have just shown you the center. These free ends, it's better to hide them later. That's it. So go on working till the end of 8th round of the crown. And we'll meet whether we'll make an increase in the 8th or maybe in the 9th row. I've made 8 rows, counting from the marker, and you see the head starts turning brown. Here I will also make 4 or 5 centimeters of the crown, and I want to pay your attention that increases on the crown depend really how you want this to be turn it. If it started turning like this, yeah, then the increase can be here, but it seems to me that I don't have enough. I want to make it higher. If you want to make ground taller, then you don't make an increase yet. You will make it later. We make increase approximately 1.5 or 2 centimeters before the ear level. So you can try it on if you have 2 centimeters before the ear. Yeah, I'll measure now from the center. By the way, we can measure it from the center. I have to make 16. So 16 will be here and it will be the end of the crown, approximately. The increase have to be approximately at 14 centimeters, maybe 13.5 to 14 centimeters here, closer to the ear, like 1.5 or 2 centimeters before the ear. So you measure it, you see how much you have till the ear, and count so that you make an increase like 2 centimeters before the ear. I will make several more rows and then I will make an increase and show you how I make it, so that you can make it the same but using your own calculations. So go on working like this till the row that you need to make an increase. So I have finished how many? Let me see from the marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, I've made 12 rows more. And so in centimeters, I have approximately 14 centimeters. So now we can make an increase in the crown. For this, I'll take some markers. We will have 6 increases in the 13th row. In my case, it will be the 13th row. So I will mark the first increase here. Here will be an increase. And then we need to spread 6 increases so that we have the same number between them. I have 78 stitches. And 78 is here where I have made the first. So I need to divide it. You count the number of stitches you have, and you need to divide it into 6. So 78 divided by 6 is 13, so that in each 13th stitch I will have a marker. So it means that here I'll have to make an increase. Now I count not this one, but starting with the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. In the 13th, I'll make here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 here. That is 5 and also 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 is here. Right. So I've made this marking, and now I know where I'll have to make increases and do not make a mistake. So we'll start together and then you can continue on your own. And I start with an increase here, according to our pattern. 1, 2, and then go on working single crochets till the next marker. Now till the next marker I walk together with you, and then you can go on making single crochets and increases into the stitches where we have put a marker. So you can make an increase according to your calculation, according to your size. Just don't make it too high above the ear, make it somewhere closer to the ear, 1.5 or 2 centimeters. It's almost ready. Take the marker off and make an increase. 1, 2, and likewise. Single crochet till the marker, and where the marker is, you make an increase. So we'll meet when we'll have to join this round, and then you can go on working on your own, and we will start the second part of the crown, that is the mesh. So the 13th round with increases is finished. And so now we join it. Find the first horizontal stitch. As always, we join the round and adjust it as to the size. And insert the hook into this one and the back half loop here. Grab the working thread, one loop and the second, and make a stitch. So what do we have here? Let's measure 14.5, maybe 3 more rows till we have 16 centimeters. Maybe I'll make it 16.5 centimeters because for this bag I want to add a little bit more of the crown so that I have enough space for making the net, for making this mesh on top, so that we need to make it a little bit taller. This net I have made till this row where we have a marker. Here it depends visually how high. I will explain you later how you decide where to start the mesh. So go on working till you have at least 16 centimeters or the number that you need for your head, and then you can make a wet heat for it if you need. If it is okay, then it is okay. If it looks like this, so you'll have to make it later. Or if you like to adjust something, you can as well make a wet heat. So go on working till you have 16 centimeters or the number that you need for your crown. So now we have already made this part. Let me measure and show you. I have 16 centimeters here. Perhaps even more. I've made it a little bit, maybe a little bit more, yeah. 16.5 actually I have. Yeah, 16.5 centimeters from the marker. Now it has such strange shape, but don't worry, we'll make a wet heat and it will be okay. But first of all, we need to make one thing. It's a final stitch. And it looks the following way. Now we will make a non-typical joining. We make this loop slightly longer. Likewise, insert the hook into the first horizontal stitch here. Grab this loop, pull it to the other side. Now this loop that this long braid comes from, we insert the hook into it like this and return this loop here. You see, we've made a round with this loop. And like this, we have joined it. So now we will make a round of slip stitches along this braid. So how to make a slip stitch is you insert the hook here, pay attention, into the first two braids, like two strands here, a braid on top. Grab the working thread and pull the loop at once through the loop on the hook. Then we insert the hook into the next one. Again, grab the working, it's an ordinary one, and make a slip stitch. Pull it through the loop on the hook at once. Then the next one, grab the working thread and through the loop on the hook. And like this, we go on making slip stitches all the way around. And like this, we are going to move till the end of this round, so that we fix this lower part of the crown. This way we go on working till we have joined it in the round. Do not tighten the stitches, because you don't want to tighten the crown now. And then we will make a wet heat for this piece, and then we will start making the mesh. So go on working like this in the round. And when you have made a round of slip stitches, here, be careful. Here is the place where you have started. It's our first slip stitch. And we stop one stitch before it, you see? Here, we stop. We don't make the last slip stitch. Instead, we will make a false slip stitch. So we need to pull a slightly longer loop, cut it, and find the first joining slip stitch, insert the hook under it, and grab this free end that we have and pull it through completely. Then we need to return it right back into the stitch where we have started. So to make it, pierce it with a hook into this one where you have started and return this thread so that the free end on the wrong side. And so now we have a full slip stitch that makes a stitch equal to the side to all the rest. It's just the same. So first part of this bag is ready. In the next part we will be making a mesh. We'll also make a wet heat. So to make a wet heat, I use a steam generator, and so like this. Starting from the inside, you can use an ordinary iron, of course. Just steam it. Be careful, because it is so easy to stretch it, and you don't want, if of course you don't need to, if you don't want to get the right size, to bigger size, then you don't need to stretch it. Because if you pull at it, you will stretch it and it will have a bigger size. Now our aim is just to straighten it, to make the sides even, so that You can just adjust something. Maybe you need to adjust a shape. Like here, for example, you see it has folded a little bit further than I have attached this marker. But actually, when you add wet heat, you can adjust it with your fingers because raffia is really flexible material and it is so easy to adjust and give it the shape that you need. And fix anything that you don't like. So that's ready for now, and we'll start making the mesh.